Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs and welcome back to... Okay, so today was going to be a regular episode of the Minecraft Survival Guide, but then something a little bit more important caught my attention. Today, as of this recording, the Minecraft team has put out the first snapshot for the upcoming 1.16 update, or as people are probably more familiar with it, the Nether update. This is going to be a massive expansion to the content available in the Nether. The first changelog of all of the stuff in this snapshot has just been published, and I really wouldn't forgive myself if I just let this all go by the wayside. I have not made snapshot videos on this channel for a while, so I'm excited to explore the possibilities of this snapshot with you guys, and please do let me know if this is something you would like to see added to the channel in future, because believe me, there is a lot of stuff I expect we'll be able to cover in the weeks and months to come. Of course, when the survival guide reaches 1.16, when the full release arrives, we are no doubt going to be exploring this update in more detail, but it's going to take a little while before that really comes to fruition, and so I thought I would take this opportunity to take a look at the Nether update in its infancy before we reach the point where it can be added to the survival guide world. This snapshot probably only scratches the surface of the stuff they have planned for this update, but there is going to be a lot more in terms of how behaviors are going to change, how materials are going to be different, and so on and so forth as the weeks and months roll on. But I think this is a good opportunity to get an overview of the changes coming in this update, so let's dive right in. Now, of course, the first thing you're going to notice is that the landscape of the Nether has changed quite dramatically. I actually built this Nether portal right next to my spawn point in a brand new Snapshot creative world and immediately spawned in one of these giant blue biomes. And what I found when I flew out of this into the wider Nether is that these biomes, the blue biome over there and the red biome over here, now constitute about 2/3 of the landscape of the Nether. The rest of the Nether landscape like this is now renamed Nether Wastes, meaning that there is no real life around here, but the rest of these have been transformed into different biomes. These kind of neon blue biomes are called warped forests, and their red cousins over here, like these ones over here, are called crimson forests. But there is a third biome that has been added as part of the Nether, and that is the Soul Sand Valley. And as you will see, these kind of intersect the Nether landscape with some really interesting formations. You'll find more ghasts and skeletons spawning in these. Fire will appear with a blue flame in Soul Sand Valleys, and the landscape around here is now made of both soul sand and the new soul soil block. You will find these fossilized remains and weird bone structures sticking out of the landscape of the Soul Sand Valley, and bone blocks actually now have a brand new sound, which is really cool. Towering columns of basalt stretch from the surface of the Soul Sand Valley all the way up to the roof of the Nether, and this material is really, really awesome looking. It's got a few different textures, kind of like logs. It has an end texture and a side texture like this. You'll find gravelly beaches around the edges of these Soul Sand Valley biomes as well, as they course down towards the lava lakes that form the majority of the lower half of the Nether. And right now you're looking at one of the phenomena that occurs in these split biomes. You'll find a lot more endermen spawning in these warped forests. This is not something that I have done. I have not spawned a bunch of these endermen in. They have all spawned here naturally as I've been flying around. Likewise, you'll find more skeletons and ghasts spawning naturally in the Soul Sand Valleys, and in the Crimson Forests you will find the piglins and new hoglins. Endermen have been appearing in the Nether since Minecraft 1.10, and Mojang always hinted at the idea that they were somehow up to something. I wonder if these new warped forests are the Endermen trying to colonize the Nether a little bit, because you imagine these warped stems here, these brand new blocks, which, yes, they do have a plank variant, we'll get to that in a second. You can imagine them somehow being the Endermen trying to emulate chorus plants from their native islands in the end. The floors of each of these biomes, the Warped Forest and the Crimson Forest, have new types of flora in here as well. You'll find warped roots growing up from the ground here. You will find warped fungi, likewise, which seem to be the smaller variants of these larger structures, and warped stems occur with giant canopies of warped nether warp blocks. When broken down in a crafting table, of course, you end up with warped planks, which can be made into pressure plates, stairs, slabs, basically anything that you can currently make wood out of. And to be honest, having that blue color is going to be absolutely fantastic for building. I can imagine building a really cool set of things with this. It'll go quite well with Prismarine if you want that blue palette, but there is a lot to be done with that, definitely. And much like Prismarine, there's actually a color changing element to the warped stems if you look kind of closely. You'll notice some of the pixels in this texture changing color and almost rippling up the trunk, which is really, really cool. Up inside the canopies, you will find these new shroom lights, which seem to be a light source similar to glowstone. We don't know a whole lot about these yet. We just know that they are organic in nature and found naturally as a result of these canopies. I'm not sure if there is a crafting recipe in the game yet. I have yet to look into that. But as you might expect, the warped fungi that you will find on the forest floor can be bone mealed to produce even more of these nether wart-like structures. So you'll be able to reproduce these as though they are saplings. Presumably, if you harvest these manually with some sort of tool, you'll end up with more fungi, and this is effectively a nether wood type, allowing life in the nether to be a little bit more sustainable. The occasional blue patches in the ground here are more warp blocks, but next to it is warped nylium, which seems to be a variant of netherrack. I'm not entirely sure if netherrack will actually get some of this stuff spreading to it, if it's going to be like grass in the overworld, if that's dependent on light level. As yet, unclear. It is yet to be seen. But this is the warped forest biome in all its glory, and I have to say this is one of my favorite new additions that's coming in this update. The Crimson Forest over here is pretty similar. You have Crimson Nylium, which functions pretty much the same as the Warped Nylium. Over here we have Zombie Pigmen, as usual, doing their thing, and these new additions are the Mighty Hoglin. These are kind of hostile mobs as far as I'm aware. They are going to be hostile towards the player, and they're going to be able to attack you with their tusks, but they are also now going to be hunted by piglins, which are, I believe, not in this snapshot yet, but they are something that was announced at Minecon. Piglins are going to be kind of like the villagers of the Nether, a little bit rougher, usually hostile to you unless you're wearing a full suit of gold armor, in which case they will become neutral to you, and they will go about hunting down these hoglins, which potentially leads to the idea that these hoglins could be farmable at some point in future. Right now, the hoglins are kind of derpy. If you attack them with a sword, their legs and ears flail around a whole lot, and I'm just doing this in creative mode right now, so it's not like it's going to attack me back. Right now, they only drop rotten flesh, but I imagine their drops will be slightly different in future because these are new mobs. There's got to be some sort of interesting new elements to them. In the Crimson Forests, you will find the same sort of stuff as far as Shroomlight and this brand new Crimson Stem block, which breaks down into some very pretty planks. I mean, just look at this wood. That's a really, really nice color. Would go very well with nether brick, for example. You will also find these Weeping Vines, which I'm not certain. I might actually go into survival mode here for a second. They don't seem to hurt you or damage you or anything yet. They might just be decorative, but I have a suspicion that those thorns on the vines might end up damaging the player in the fullness of time. They act very differently to vines from the overworld, though you don't seem to be able to climb them or anything like that yet, but once again, that is potentially functionality that might be added later. Growing on the Crimson Nylium, you will find these Crimson Roots, which seem to be the Crimson Forest equivalent of the warped roots you will find in the blue biomes, but these are basically interchangeable. They can be planted on Nylium. They don't seem to be planted on Netherrack, so Nylium is the only place you'll be able to find these. You can't bone meal the Nylium to get any more of them yet, but I imagine that might be added at some point in future as well, or maybe there'll be another way to grow these things naturally. These Soul Sand Valley biomes don't have all that much in the way of vegetation, although the blue fog in the distance is super nice. But if you like that blue fire effect, don't worry, you can take that with you into other biomes. I'm heading over to the Crimson Forest here with a block of soul soil, and once I set that alight, it does keep burning with that blue flame, which I presume works even in places like the End and the Overworld. You'll want soul soil for a bunch of other stuff as well, because you can actually craft it into torches that burn with a blue flame as well. Using a block of soul soil, a stick, and some coal, you will get some soul fire torches, which burn with that blue flame in any biome where you place them. Basically, it's just the torch recipe with some of this new soul soil added, and I will go one step further than that. If you craft a bunch of iron nuggets and some soulfire torches together, you can actually get soulfire lanterns, which once again burn with that blue flame in the center. Although they don't really give off any kind of blue light, the light color is the same, but they will provide a lot of atmosphere to builds here in the Nether, and even some builds out in the overworld. And if all of this hasn't got you excited about the Nether update yet, listen up, because I have a feeling this next piece of information might pique your interest. There is a brand new material here to be found in the lower depths of the Nether called Ancient Debris, and with it, we're going to be able to make a fireproof set of armor which is harder, tougher, more resilient, and more durable than diamonds. I haven't managed to find any myself yet, but before I do a little bit more digging around in creative, I want to draw your attention to the new sound that happens when you break a block of soul sand. That is creepy. Well, folks, I've been digging around a little bit, and I even spent a bit of time flying around in spectator mode to see if I could spot any of this, but I have finally found a couple of blocks of ancient debris. We are down here at Y13, so you're looking at mining for this in roughly the same level you would mine for diamonds in the overworld, which means, of course, in the Nether, you are mining underneath lava lakes, which is going to be an incredibly dangerous thing to do, especially with the pockets of lava that we commonly find in the Nether. But you'll be able to track down these ancient debris blocks in occasional veins. I found 2 blocks here. I have a feeling they will probably be fairly rare to find, much the same as diamonds in the overworld are, because this stuff is really going to revolutionize armor for long-term players. There we go. I dug around a little bit more. Let's see how many blocks we have here. Is it just the one? It looks like it is, unless there's a diagonal vein here. Nope, just 1 block. Once again, that is pretty rare by most people's standards. So in order to get this stuff, you're definitely going to want to go mining with some fire resistance potions, and I expect it will take you a little while, although once you've got an efficiency diamond pickaxe, you'll be able to strip out the netherrack no problem. How exactly are we going to turn these ancient debris blocks into something that is tougher than diamonds? Well, for that, I think we're going to go back to the overworld. Once you've found enough ancient debris, you're going to put that in a furnace and smelt it as you normally would, although it will smelt faster in a blast furnace, as the changelog points out, so this is actually giving some vital functionality to blast furnaces. That's going to refine itself into netherite scrap. Once you have 4 pieces of netherite scrap, which is probably going to take you a while, you'll find that it combines in your crafting station with 4 gold ingots to get you 1 netherite ingot. Now, netherite can be used to make tools and armor, but it is kind of a unique material in that it actually combines with some of your existing diamond tools and armor. So let's grab a bit of diamond out of here. Let's grab a sword. Let's maybe grab a diamond pickaxe as well, and watch what happens when we put this in a crafting table with the netherite. We'll add that in there, and as you'll see, the diamond pickaxe converts into a netherite pickaxe. The first thing you will notice about this is that it has 1 extra attack damage combined with the netherite. So a netherite pickaxe does 6 attack damage compared to a diamond pickaxe's standard 5. If we combine it with a sword like so, diamond sword 7 attack damage, netherite sword 8 attack damage. So instantly they are 1 point better than diamond swords. Your diamond chestplate currently gives you 2 armor toughness and plus 8 armor. A netherite chestplate will also give you an additional point of armor toughness and 1 knockback resistance, meaning that you take less knockback from the usual sources, and if you have a full set of netherite armor, you probably won't move a great deal, even if shot with a punch bow. So once again, you're not going to be able to make netherite trousers or netherite chest plates or anything out of this stuff, because it's going to be a rare enough material that gathering a lot of netherite is going to be quite difficult. But if you combine them with your existing diamond tools, they become even tougher. And let me tell you, folks, the netherite stuff is actually looking really, really cool. It definitely feels a lot more industrial than the shiny diamond suits we are all used to. But there are hidden depths to netherite that we are about to discover together. First of all, I'm going to hop back here into the Nether, and I'm going to create a little lava pool here, thanks to the fact that we have this lava flow here right next to the Nether portal, because I'm about to throw myself into this column of lava right here to show you the effects. If we go back into survival mode, like so, I'm going to step into the lava flow. I'm taking a fair amount of damage. Obviously, the netherite armor is absorbing a lot of it, but sooner or later, I am going to die. However, when I respawn and step back through this Nether portal to see if any of my stuff has survived, you will find that all of your netherite armor is still very much alive and has a resistance to that burn time. In fact, I might even be able to step back in here and reclaim some of the netherite gear I have lost if I'm lucky. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to burn up again. Once again, though, all of my netherite gear has been preserved. Netherite items will actually float in lava, which is frankly pretty impressive. There you go. A lot of it is just floating at the top of this lava source here. There we go. I can grab the rest of that, re-equip it, and I still have my full suit of netherite armor, and I'm still very much on fire, but that actually looks pretty cool through the helmet. Unfortunately for me, the warped fungi are not edible, so I won't be able to restore too much of my health. But let's take a look at the properties of the netherite pickaxe and the netherite sword, because if I break a block here, naturally that's going to use a point of durability on my pickaxe. If I take a look at this now, 2030 durability. That is around 500 more points of durability than a diamond pickaxe. You'll also find that netherite has a higher enchantability than diamond does, although not a higher enchantability than gold, meaning that when you put this in an enchanting table, if I can go back into creative mode here for a second, we're getting Unbreaking 3 coming up on this netherite helmet with only 18 levels, which is unheard of when it comes to diamond armor enchanting, and yet we'll get protection 2 on that as well, not too bad. Efficiency 3, let's see if we can bump that up with a couple more bookshelves. A full level 30 enchantment, of course, gets us efficiency 4 and Unbreaking 3. I don't think you're going to be able to enchant any of this stuff at a higher level of efficiency, but protection 4, Unbreaking 3, and thorns, not bad. This stuff is coming out pretty well. If you're lucky enough to get hold of enough netherite to make a full block of it, you'll be presented with this incredibly attractive looking metal block. I love the look of the block of netherite. It looks like I've imagined iron blocks doing if they were made out of a similar material like the iron cauldrons or anvils are. This kind of dirty grey look is super desirable for industrial builds, which is going to make it a must-have, which is going to be tricky for folks who like to build in survival because, like I said, netherite is pretty tough to make. Looking through the creative menus, though, we also come across stripped warp stems and stripped crimson stems, both of which look absolutely fantastic. There are basically 2 new wood types in Minecraft now, and we have all of the stuff that goes along with them. Not just the stairs and slabs, but the fences. There are crimson and warped fences as well, which look absolutely spectacular. There are trapdoors and signs of both wood types, and we may even be able to find some doors in the redstone section here as well. Yep, we have a crimson door and a warped door. Those both look phenomenal. I am very excited about this one in particular, but that with the vines on it also looks really great. Imagine building a home for the drowned, almost like a seaside cottage kind of thing with vines creeping up the door. That's perfect for that kind of setup. And look at that for a trapdoor design. The slight warping in the texture there, very cool. Likewise, those kind of like a horizontal version of the acacia trapdoor, actually. There you go, compare the two of those for a second, the horizontal stripes and the vertical stripes. Very cool combination of materials there. Buttons, fence gates, pressure plates, these materials come with the full set of wooden stuff, and not a moment too soon, I think. It's very, very exciting to have this kind of material to play around with in the upcoming Nether update, which, might I remind you, is still on the horizon, and a lot of this stuff could potentially change. So make sure to get your feedback into Mojang while they are still in the process of developing this stuff, but I think they have done a phenomenal job introducing these new materials to the game. Everything already feels pretty fleshed out. It's just going to be a matter of how we interact with it when all of the features are said and done. Now, some of you folks whose nether still looks like this in the 1.15 update might be wondering if you're going to have to reset all of your nether in order to find these biomes. And chances are, if you've explored a lot of the nether, you are probably going to, but Mojang has actually added a brand new command to help you find biomes like this. If you type /locate biome now, you should be able to search for any biome in your world, not just these new nether ones, but if you're looking for a jungle, if you're looking for a shattered savanna plateau to build in, stuff like that, you're going to be able to find those biomes in the overworld if you're confident using commands to do so. Not only that, but here in the nether, you're going to be able to look for soul sand valleys or warped forests, and you're going to be able to find them here in these commands, making it nice and easy to locate the nearest warped forest, which in this case is right next door to us. But in my survival guide world, I might end up having to reset a few chunks of the nether to find that stuff a little bit closer, or we could just use the locate biome command if we want to find one of these biomes out there. There are a bunch of other small changes, including changes to sound design, which is actually kind of phenomenal walking around on the netherrack now. It's got this weird, gross, squishy sound to it. There are a few bug fixes and changes to some behavior from current Minecraft, like the fact that mending now distributes evenly amongst all of your tools and armor before it starts adding stuff to your XP bar, which is absolutely fantastic. I've hoped for that change for a little while. The blog post with all of the changes and update notes for this snapshot will be posted in the description of this video. And last but not least, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the idea of snapshots, I'm going to quickly take you through exactly how you find these in the Minecraft launcher. So right here we have the Minecraft launcher. I'm logged in. I'm on Java Edition here, as you can see, and next to the play button here you will find another tab that says installations. If you click on that, up here in the top section you'll find releases, historical versions, and snapshots. If you click on that, it will tell you to run snapshots in a separate game directory to avoid corrupting your worlds, and that is really up to you, but I do strongly suggest changing your saves folder in order to avoid, like it says, corrupting your worlds. You don't want to load up any of your current worlds in snapshots unless you are determined to play on that snapshot for the foreseeable future until more snapshots come out and eventually you upgrade to the finished thing. But snapshots can potentially have bugs in them, bugs that can break your current world, and make sure before you do any of that stuff, you make a backup. But as you will see, the snapshot is now here in our installations. If I go back to the play button here and choose the profile from this drop-down kind of pop-up menu over here, you will find latest snapshot appears there. This is snapshot 20W06A. All I have to do is click on that and hit play, and we're good to go. Once the game window pops up, you'll notice down here in the corner it says we're in Minecraft Snapshot 20W06A. It says it's a snapshot, and when we go into the single player world, you'll see that I'm running this in the same directory as my other worlds are, but I have made a snapshot world specifically so that we could explore these features together. I've not loaded up the survival guide in this snapshot. As you'll see, it's still in version 1.15.2. It will say don't forget to back up your world before you load it in the snapshot, and I do not intend to bring the survival guide forward into these snapshots. The survival guide is going to get all of these features and more when the Nether update arrives, but for now I thought it was fun to take a look through these snapshots in creative mode. And if you guys are interested in seeing more snapshot videos from this, leave a like on the video for me, leave something in the comments letting me know that you're excited for the Nether update and you want to see more videos like this. But that's going to be it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget, like I said, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye for now.